don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
The Scrubs podcast featuring your boy Trey Lesio, the Dawn of Entertainment. We got my brother in the studio, Two Fly, Ty Lesio, and my cousins, the Scrubs themselves, Cam and Cade Armstrong.
What's up?
And we got the Turtle Killa. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Great. It's a great day. I was just about to say that.
It's a great day.
Hey, I'm excited for this podcast. Let's get into it.
It's going to be fun. If you're new to the program, it's a fun, informative pop culture podcast with we're going to throw a little debate spin mixed in with some gaming talk. It's going to be fun, so let's hop right into it. We're going to kick it off with our pop culture headlines. Biggest one of the day, we got our boy Cam repping the shirt here. Lil Uzi Vert surprisingly dropped Eternal Atake. It kind of was becoming detox for a minute. I think it was 2 years in between.
2 years, yes, sir.
So he's been hyping this album for a long time. Finally dropped. We kind of got a hint that it was because he was spazzing on Twitter for a little bit.
Yeah.
During our debates, Cam and I will be debating this album, but I want to give the floor to Cade and Ty to see what their initial reactions are and what they think. So
yeah, I'll start us off.
Yeah.
Cam and Trey, you guys are gonna go. Are
Right.
you guys gonna give your takes first and then debate, or just?
I'll save for the debate.
Okay.
Mine.
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, then I guess I'll save mine.
Okay. I won't lie. I was thoroughly impressed with this album.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
I didn't have a whole lot of expectations going into it. So I had the bar, wherever you go into listening to a Lil Uzi Vert album. But I was telling Trey before the podcast started, I thought this album ended very strong. Like my problem with Lil Uzi in the past is like a lot of his music sounds the same. Like you can listen to an album and the sound kind of gets old and it gets blended a little bit. But this album really did a good job, I thought, of mixing it up a little bit. He showed off. He sang a little bit, very catchy, a lot of trap vibes. And I'm kid you not, the last 4 songs I was like listening to it at work, just like going crazy. I was feeling the last 4 songs.
Great.
I would say probably my favorite. P2. Like I was like just gonna go off on the Push Me to the Edge and hit the little switch on you. I really enjoyed that, and the Backstreet Boys song. Those were good songs. And I would say from the beginning of the album, what was it? Silly Wrist or something like that.
Silly Watch. Yes, sir.
Silly Watch.
That one's been blowing up. A lot of people.
That one went crazy too. I thought. Overall, I thought it was a really good album. I thought it was entertaining. The one thing I would say is like you can pick away and pull songs and like vibe to them and like it'll set you in a mood. I wouldn't want to listen to this album like over and over and over again, just like continuously from front to end, because then I think it would kind of just like get old. But Friday night, you're getting ready to get off work, you throw a couple of these songs on, it's going to put you in a good mood.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm a big Uzi fan, so 2 years I had a lot of hype for this album, and it did not disappoint. I was worried that, 2-year wait, lots of expectations going in. It didn't disappoint. My favorite song is Silly Watch. It's more of a trap one. But don't sleep on I'm Sorry. That song is really good. You got at the second listen to that song, you'll like it a lot more. The album sort of tells a story if you listen to the end snippets, but you got to listen 1 through 18, I think it is. And then P2 is just different. You don't really see that a lot. It was very good.
Okay. So we got 2 with thumbs up. Ty and Cade with thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
I feel like we're gonna get another thumbs up, but we're gonna save the third one for.
Oh yeah.
And what I would have to say, like, I thought the cover art was really cool too.
I will
Cover
say
art was super cool.
And I'm glad that he chose number 2 because that was my favorite.
He let the people choose, so I respect that.
Is that what you would have voted for?
That's what I did vote for on the poll. He actually put a poll up. That's what happened.
How about you, Cade?
I voted for 2.
Yeah, 2 is dope. Did you partake in?
I didn't vote, but like internally, in my soul, I voted for 2.
Number 2 fits the album perfectly.
Right. All right. We'll come back to Eternal Atake. We're gonna get a deep dive into it on our debate segment. But another big thing that I personally this I felt the probably equivalent of what you guys felt today when I saw this drop. First of all, so Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free, who does all of TDE's music videos, they unveiled plans for a multilingual platform for music, movies, TV, art, books, podcasts for creators. It's called PG Lang. I don't know. It was very like ambiguous and kind of artsy. It was a cool vibe. I don't know if you guys saw the video that went with kind of the announcement, but didn't really explain anything. But then if you go to the website, there's a little GIF that has redacted words on it, if you will. And it basically tells you their mission statement, what they're going to be. Very cool. It's like basic. It's Kendrick's way of a record label / movie studio. Like I foresee this becoming a big thing if it blows up, which Kendrick Lamar, it's bound to blow up in my opinion. But the big question for you guys is, do you think that a new album will follow this big announcement? What do you think, Ty?
I hope it does, but this just doesn't really feel like a album rollout. I think it's a really cool platform, and I think it has a lot of opportunity to be successful, but it doesn't feel like a Kendrick Lamar rolling out his album yet. I hope it's coming soon. Hope we get it in 2020.
So you think he'll let it breathe a little bit? Like he'll let this kind of...
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an album rollout.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Do you think it is, Trey?
Man. So when I first saw the announcement, right, I got so excited because I mean Kendrick Lamar doesn't tweet very often. So I saw the tweet, instantly go to the website because it was just a link that was first tweeted out. And there's a video on the website. It's their visual mission statement. And I watched it, and there was music within it. And if you listen closely, it sounds like Kendrick, but it could also be Baby Keem. I don't know. I think there might be both potentially. And then there's some Georgia Smith on there who is Leo DiCaprio. It's gorgeous. And it was a really cool video. I don't really know what it's about, but it's really cool. Like I said, I want to collaborate with PG Lang. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what it is, but I'm here for it. But what do you guys think?
I don't think an album's gonna come. Actually, I could see it like when it first starts kicking off, Kendrick drops an album to make it really big, to like
the first album on that platform
to kind of bring attention. Well, it's obviously gonna bring attention to it. Yeah.
Right.
I would be annoyed if he dropped an album and it would like only be released on like kind of like what Jay-Z did with Tidal.
Yeah.
And get it for a little bit on Tidal. Like
I don't foresee this being like a service. Like I think it's more so a way to bring in creators. Like let's just say he picked up Are You Entertained and wanted Are You Entertained to be on P. I think it's more so for the creator. Yeah. It's not really a service for people to use, if that makes sense. That's just how I perceived it. I guess there haven't really been any explanation with this. It's all kind of ambiguous. So I guess we're left to see what will happen. But can't thoughts.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't feel like an album rollout. Because like with Uzi, I'll just use him as an example because he did drop today. But he put the single Futsal Shuffle out in December, and it's like, okay, well maybe it might actually happen. And then he put out a single close to last Sunday, so a week from today. Or not today. Today is Thursday. Whatever. Almost a week. And you're like, okay, it's getting real close. Like, you can tell. But for this, it just seems like he's going to let it be its own standalone thing. Anything Kendrick touches tends to turn to gold, too. So I'm sure this will be a big thing.
Right. Do you guys think that we'll see a Kendrick album in 2020? Or do you think he'll focus on this all year?
I definitely hope so. I mean, I would think so. It's been a while. It's been coming up on 3 years here.
End of summer.
Yeah.
Summer
Summer seems like Kendrick's time.
Here's the thing. He's on the big festival circuit. Like, I can't remember exactly, but I think he's doing maybe Coachella or Lolla or one of those. And I think he might be doing like Rolling Loud. Like, there's a few of those big concerts that he's headlining. So that makes me think he's going to put out the new album in order to perform that. That's just kind of the way it goes for most people. But then again, Frank Ocean is headlining one, I think, Coachella or something. So you would think that he would drop new music, but that's pretty far stretched. So who knows? But I'm here for new Kendrick music. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing I'll add is I love how one of the biggest things I love about Kendrick Lamar, he moves in silence. Like, you don't really know what he's up to until you know what he's up to. So it'll start percolating when the album's on the way, and we'll know when it's on the way.
Will it be a surprise drop?
I love a surprise drop.
I did.
It's hard to predict.
Like today, baby.
It's hard to predict a surprise drop.
I think a surprise drop has to be like executed perfectly. Like, you have to have the fame and the following to do so. And I think obviously Kendrick Lamar has that. Lil Uzi, I will admit, has that.
He does have that. His past 2 albums, he's done that now. He's pulled that off.
Right. So it takes a certain individual to do that. But.
When I want, because I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the Lil Uzi album, I got a lot of prime Lil Wayne vibes in this album. It felt like prime Lil Wayne on this album. I won't lie.
Okay, that is your opinion.
He definitely has star power, whether you like him or not. You have to admit that.
The star power, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep moving on with the headlines, because I want to get to this debate segment. It'll be because it's fun. Movies, TV. So kind of the big thing that we have here. We have a couple things, but Matt Reeves, the director of the upcoming Batman movie, has shared pictures and or video of Robert Pattinson as Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and Robert Pattinson as Batman standing next to the Batmobile. So I personally thought they were pretty cool little tidbits and pictures. What do you guys? What was your initial? First of all, have you guys even seen them? What do you guys think?
I have seen them.
I've seen them. I didn't like the Batmobile.
Okay.
It was it wasn't gadgety enough, if that makes sense. It's not the kind of car style that I usually see Batman with.
Okay. What do you guys think of the suit?
The suit's sweet.
I loved the fact it went around the day that it dropped on Twitter. They zoomed in on the Bat logo, and they pointed out that it looks like 2 guns. And people pointed out in the old comics that in the comics Bruce Wayne takes the guns that killed his parents and used them as the Bat logo. So that people are saying that they're going to incorporate in that in the upcoming movie. I'm here for that. That's super dope. I've also been picking up vibes that this is going to be a very dark Batman. Robert Pattinson has been quoted saying that this Bruce Wayne is going to be similar to some of his old indie roles, which makes me think it's going to be dark and maybe even hinted at an R rating. So I'm here for that. What do you guys think about all that?
I don't have a lot to say, but what I do want to point out is there is a lot of pressure on DC here. The last couple Batmans have been a couple swing and misses, in my opinion. And
the Ben Affleck ones.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of pressure to get this one right. I hope they take their time and perfect it. and give us a good Batman movie because he's such an interesting character and so much that they can do with it. So please, DC, don't mess this one up.
My personal favorite superhero, period. I mean, I think my whole thing with superheroes is I like superheroes that are grounded and it has the feel that they could actually happen. Like, he doesn't actually have powers. That's what makes Batman so intriguing to me, is because he's like a rich guy with all this technology, but that's just what makes him cool, in my opinion. That's why I like Daredevil so much, because really he's blind, but I mean, does he really have powers? You know what I mean? Like, I like a grounded hero, and that's why I think Batman does the trick, and just DC has the better villains, straight up, and Batman is the forefront of that. I'm really excited because it's going to be a villain focused movie. We have Catwoman, we have Penguin, we have the Riddler. So hopefully it's not cheese. Hopefully it's grit and it's dark. That's
is there a timeline on this one?
Like when it's coming out?
Yeah.
It's coming out next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think next summer is when it's coming out. So, do you have anything to add, Cam? What do you think?
No, I'm just ready for something fresh. I've seen enough of Ben Affleck. I'm kind of ready for something different.
Speaking
I
of
feel
Ben,
like they kind of dropped the ball, so they're on to the next.
yeah. Speaking of Ben Affleck, I saw the new Ben Affleck movie, The Way Back.
How was that?
Definitely worth a watch. Just dropped the unfiltered cinematic, so go check that out.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. I won't reveal my rating, but it was good. Solid sports movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you guys think.
For sure.
Keeping it rolling. Another pop culture tidbit. We have Christian Bale. He has been confirmed as the villain in the upcoming Thor movie. I think Tessa Thompson in a press run for Westworld revealed that. So now the internet is running wild as to what character he will portray. I personally am not the comic book nerd geek guy, so I don't really know a lot of Thor villains that haven't already been portrayed. Do you guys have any predictions, or do you know anything about that?
That's going to be more Cam's ballpark if he knows anything.
I mean, that's my ballpark, but I really have no idea of possible characters. But it has to be someone powerful, because I heard that Natalie Portman was going to be the female Thor. So if you have two Thors, my guess is it has to be someone very powerful.
Yeah. I think, this just reiterates our prediction in the last podcast that we thought he was going to be the villain because he's too big a star to be a reoccurring hero. So I that kind of pointed more towards the villain. Now it just becomes who. I think Ares would be a good pick. That would loop in the Dark Avengers, and that opens up the door for a whole new set of movies that they could do. So that would be my first initial guess, but who knows?
I don't have an educated opinion on who Christian Bale's going to play, but I just have a feeling like kind of how it's going to be formatted is that we're going to get Christian Bale for 2 movies. I think first one kind of be a build. They're going to be going at each other, and then the next one is when we're going to see. Because we're not going to Christian Bale as a villain for a long period of time. So
man,
him being in 2. I could see him being in 2, fighting and not.
So he doesn't die.
Doesn't die in the first one and get him in the second one.
Love and Thunder.
After credits scene.
Because this Love and Thunder is going to be Guardians too.
No, that's a different. No.
Okay. Because Thor's going to be in Guardians.
That hasn't been fully confirmed yet. So.
He's going to be. He's got to be.
You would think so with where Endgame ended, but
what's the timeline of this one? Is it going to be Fat Thor?
We don't know that either.
I hope not. I didn't.
I would hope they go away with that. But Cam, do you have breaking news for us or something? What was that?
Well, yeah, Uzi is just going crazy on Twitter, and some of his biggest, most teased songs, his snippets, one's called Myron, and everyone, it's big because right now it's number 3 trending on Twitter. People were a little upset that it wasn't on Eternal Atake, and this is one that I've been waiting for. And then there's another song called Kobe Rolly, and Uzi all today has been tweeting about the deluxe edition tonight.
I saw
a lot of stuff about tonight, and he just tweeted the word Myron with a fire emoji, So he's alluding to the fact that it's going to be on the deluxe. And then earlier he tweeted Kobe, like for Kobe Rolly, which is the snippet name.
That one, did he tag Chief Keef? Did I see?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So two of his most anticipated songs are probably going to be on the deluxe.
So
we're going to see a lot more of Uzi this year.
I also saw that he tagged Future, Lil Baby,
Young Thug.
Oh, Tekka?
I don't know if he tagged Tekka, but he's tweeting at a lot of artists right now. Yes.
Interesting.
He's already firing up the hype for the deluxe edition.
When do you think that will drop? In like 3 years?
People say there's going to be another album this year.
He said that he's treating this year like 2016, and in 2016 he dropped 2 albums. So we'll see what happens.
There you go. You guys are in heaven. All right, let's keep it going. Next up on the docket, we have sports. Unless Kay, do you want to talk Clone Wars or no?
Nah, we can save that for a later one.
Okay, sounds good. Moving it on to sports. So rumors are still floating around about Tom Brady and if and where he will land. Do you guys think he's going anywhere, or will he stay true to his Hulu Super Bowl commercial? I ain't going anywhere, which I personally thought was the ultimate troll. It was hilarious. Is he going to stick with that, or is he going somewhere? Honestly, I don't know. I've heard things and seen some things on social media, but what do you think here, Ty? Do you have an input?
No, he's not going anywhere.
So he's staying true to Hulu.
He's gonna. Yeah, I didn't take a lot of stock into the Hulu ad.
I think the Hulu commercial was about his retirement, not about his free agency.
Yeah, no, that I took.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, but I think he's gonna be a Patriot. I think he's got 1 year left, 1 or 2. I just don't think he wants to. He's not gonna go out on that last season that he had right there. But I could definitely see the Patriots making some moves here in this draft, going to get someone to try and take the torch from Tom Brady in the near future. I think that's their only move.
So let's talk about the side of him going somewhere.
Yeah, if he did go somewhere, I've seen the
Niners, which is very interesting that he would go in front of Garoppolo, and they want to get rid of Garoppolo.
I've seen the Raiders,
Oakland.
Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Those two I think are the most probable out of all the rumors.
So
I've heard San Diego as well, or Los Angeles, I guess now they are.
Okay. Interesting. So what do they do with Phillip Rivers? They just ship him off?
I don't know if he might be done. I don't think he's decided on next year.
Man, I'll be honest, I'm not a big Phillip Rivers guy to start with, so I don't know. And then with the Raiders, you have David Carr, which he's up and down, but he's still kind of young. And at Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston's still there, right?
Yeah, but he's
garbage, right? But
straight basura.
But he eats a W. Right? So
he threw the most touchdown passes in the NFL this year.
30 touchdown passes, 30 interceptions. Not gonna want to go get Tom Chance.
No, I mean obviously you'll get probably the best quarterback of all time. You're going to get him for 1, maybe 2 years. I don't know. But
I'd be so disappointed if Tom Brady went somewhere else. Like, that's not him. He's a Patriot. That's how it should end.
A lot of the quarterbacks do it. Brett Favre, Joe Montana, retired, a Chief. Yeah.
I just feel like it would be so – because Brady has just always been in the Patriot system, right? And to go to somewhere like Tampa Bay or Las Vegas now would just be. I don't think it would be the best situation for him, and I think he knows that.
It would look weird. Yeah, it would just be weird. Cam, what do you think? Is he going anywhere?
I think he's going to end up somewhere, but I don't want him to go somewhere. I think he should just end as a Patriot.
Fair enough.
Have the same legacy comparable to that of Kobe.
Okay. All right, NFL Combine. Ty put this on here. We have who we have going number 1 in the draft. I haven't really been, following it with like Mel Kiper style, where like who has the top pick and who's gonna like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean the overall number one talent, I think, is Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
I mean, he has small hands, boy, but
got these tiny hands.
but
Can't even
but-
eat a Whopper.
but the dude is a stud, and he's going to be a great. I think he's going to be a really good pro quarterback. So, I would take him. But who has the number one pick this year? Browns,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah, they're brutal.
Yeah, it's not ideal for Joe Burrow,
Hey, he's
but
got-
What are we thinking about Tua?
He's got a good couple targets to throw to AJ Green.
Sleep on Tua going number 2 overall. I'm telling you, I could see that.
I can see that as well. I think his draft stock has gone up lately. But I
Isaiah Simmons.
do think it's going to end up being Joe Burrow with his tiny hands going number 1. And I don't think that's what it should be. I think
You don't?
the number 1 overall prospect in this draft, Chase Young, Ohio State defensive end, is a complete game changer. He is a stud. He can play the 3 technique, play the D end on the 5, can drop back and play linebacker. He is going to be a talent in this league to come.
what about the Iowa lineman who ran like the 4?
Tristan Wirfs.
Whatever, yeah. That's
What about the
insane.
Nebraska defensive lineman?
What are they talking about him? I mean, he has to be
First
going
round.
first round.
First round,
Just is it high first round?
I don't know. Probably mid first round.
I think he's like top 5.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
rightfully so. And then the Clemson linebacker ran a 4.
Isaiah Simmons, yes sir.
Nuts.
I have my eye on him.
4-3,
Big
someone's
Panthers
4-2.
fan.
429.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
just
see those Nebraska D linemen?
no one cares about Nebraska.
No, they ran the fastest 40 times for people over 300 pounds in like 20 years.
Wow.
This draft has a lot of talent, and I'm a little salty because the Rams do not have any freaking picks. The one
Still
good
go Joe Burrow 1. I can't see a different change. No
I
way.
he's gonna go 1-2, but I don't think if I was GM of the Bengals, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't give up on Andy Dalton yet.
If I was a GM, I'd go. If I was the GM of the Bengals, I'd go Simmons number 1. He's a freak athlete.
Chase Young, especially the way the league is going, the premier pass rushers are so hard to come by. The Bosa's
Have you
hot.
seen Simmons? He's like the most athletic person I've ever seen in my life.
No, he's gonna go top 5, but
I would take him number 1.
yeah, I think you can make an argument. I think you can make an argument for it, but I'm still taking Chase Young.
All right.
This isn't the debate segment yet, guys.
I know
okay?
that's why I didn't go into it.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Okay. Anything else in the combine? I mean, any other sleeper picks?
They're not really sleeper picks, but this draft, from what I can, people are saying on ESPN and stuff, is very receiver heavy. Like there's a lot of good wide receivers coming out, so I'm hoping one or two sneak into the later rounds, and my Rams can pick someone up because we need to get some young talent. We got a lot of money tied up in Gurley and Goff and
you do.
Jalen Ramsey. We need to get some young talent that we don't have to pay so much for.
There you go. Heard it from the expert over here. Okay. Little bit of MLB talk. Let's talk a little bit about the Astros. Obviously, they got caught in the cheating scandal with the stealing the signs. And now in spring training, they are getting thrown at. What do we think about this?
I just think this whole situation has just been a mess, and it's kind of hard to like know what the right thing to do here is. Like I just love how all the MLB players are talking about it and using their platform to like shame the cheating. But I think the commissioner, when he came out and said that like if you throw out the Astros, there's going to be fines for the players. But like the players that got caught cheating didn't get any fines or pretty much any repercussions. Like I just think that's a little hypocritical. And I personally, if they're gonna get thrown at, like they probably deserve it.
I to hear this from the baseball players. I mean, what do you guys think?
I was a baseball player, but anyways, I don't love it, but I like that they're getting thrown at. It shows that baseball is policing itself. If the commissioner's not going to step in, the players are going to show that it was wrong. You shouldn't do that. The fans are also doing it. Now, I don't think you should be throwing 90-mile-per-hour fastballs at people's heads, but if you hit them with an off speed
Nah, plunk
That's
him in
fine.
the back. You don't gotta go above the shoulder. Plunk him in the back.
That's true. That's also fine. It's just as long as you show, but there is a point where it could be too much. Where if you accidentally hit someone in the head, it's gonna look really bad.
Yeah,
I feel like Cam has a take here. He's chilling.
Yeah, I mean, I think the league's upset that they're not owning up to it. Like, you have Carlos Correa kind of defending his decision, not admitting to it. I think it would be a lot better if they just owned up and said, yeah, we did that. We messed up. And I think there wouldn't be as bad of repercussions.
Is this the MLB's version of like the NFL's Ray Rice whole ordeal with not in terms of what actually happened, but the way they handled it? I mean, I remember that, and what did they give him? 3 games or something
Originally.
crazy like that, and there was a whole uproar about it, and then it was very hypocritical. That kind of seems like it is here. I mean, it's a little bit different, domestic violence and cheating, but
I would say this is more comparable to in the NFL, like one of the times that the Patriots cheated. And, like,
okay,
you know,
Yeah, Deflategate. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
good point. But I'm saying in the way the hypocrisy and how
Like the commissioners mishandled it.
right. It's
Definitely fumbled the bag.
it's kind of sad, but it'll be an interesting year for the MLB, especially if the Astros kind of emerge as one of the better teams again.
They will.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. All right, it's time. The time we have all been waiting for. Let's go. The debate dominance segment. So I think we found our format, how we want to do it. We are going to do it this way. Cam and I are going to argue Lil Uzi Vert, Eternal Atake, and old head versus the new wave of hip hop. It's going to be interesting. I'm very passionate about this, so I'm excited.
We need to get like a OK Boomer button, like
Every time he says something, hit OK Boomer.
You're going to
Just
be
hit
pressing
it.
a lot this time. So we're going to be debating that, and then you guys, do we want to, like, you guys will vote on it, or who moves?
Me and Ty will kind of talk it over and decide.
Okay.
And so then Cade and I are gonna debate, and then the winner of the 2 debates are gonna debate in a final debate.
Right, and the losers are going to pick the
Final
topic from a topic pool, which we will talk about when we get to that point. But this is gonna be fun. I'm excited for this. Who wants to go first? Should me and Cam go first?
I'll kind of let me intro it, and you guys can kind of develop your arguments for a little bit.
Intro the topic.
Yeah, intro the topic. All right. So for the first debate,
He's got note cards.
He's got notes.
Alessio versus Cam, Glovelender, Armstrong. And what the topic
This ain't
is
no
gonna
boxing match.
be. Yeah, it's a
It
fight.
pretty much is.
Yeah, we're going at it. So,
John Bones.
Vert in the new wave of music versus the old head and the traditional style of hip hop music. I'm gonna defer to Trey to go first. He is the host of Are You Entertained? So
Fine.
he's gonna go first and give his argument.
Okay, so I did a little. I listened to Eternal Atake. I gave an hour in life to this album, and I took some notes. I also wanted to morph it into, Lil Uzi Vert and the whole argument of kind of traditional lyricism rap versus this new wave of trap rap. So where do we want to start here, Cam? I'll let you go.
I'll let you lead. You can say what you want about Eternal Atake, and I'll count it from there once you're done.
First, I'll give my takes on Eternal Atake. So I don't know. So that way, I'll just kind of read my notes and then kind of give my takes. So that way has the Backstreet Boys sample. Thought that was interesting. Very catchy song. Prices has the Travis Scott sample. Thought that was pretty cool. How he flipped that. You Better Move has the pinball sample, the Windows pinball game. How he flipped that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sid, the lone feature, at least the lone credited feature, to me was one of the bright spots on this album. She's a real talent. She is from Odd Future. She used to be with that whole crew. She's off with the internet now, and she does little solo things every once in a while. I thought that was a really good musically a good spot on the album. Okay, so I think it's become apparent that I'm the old head of this debate and this whole podcast, if you will. I do not really enjoy the trap rap feel. I'm not gonna lie to you. This album didn't do much for me. Yeah, it's fun, cool. I don't know. And you equated it. Someone said, I think, did you say the whole Lil Wayne thing?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I don't know. Lil Wayne, it's just different to me. Like when I listen to Lil Uzi Vert, he has bars, if you will, but I don't know. It's like it's this thing of mumble rap, and he is kind of in mumble rap. Maybe not as much as like Playboi Carti or Young Thug or any of those guys, but it just they don't hit me. Like I don't know if it's my age and where I'm at in life. Just like music that is just like you say one thing, you say something, and then you say like unibrow and Anthony Davis. Like I don't care about that. Like it doesn't matter to me. Bars are cool, but like I want something that means something and it's gonna move the dial. And this really just did. I mean, yes, it's fun kind of turn up music, but it's really the same throughout 20 tracks in an hour. It's very bloated, very trap heavy. I think he relies way too heavily on the hooks and the catchy beats. Yes, he's very, very popular. He has a crazy following. I think he has, 2 million followers or something.
On what? Twitter?
Just, yeah, on Twitter. It's just, what is he really?
6.1 million.
Okay, 6.1 now. He bumped up a couple 4 mil just today.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, just my whole thing is it goes back to what is he really saying? Give me a album that Kendrick Lamar produces, J. Cole produces, something that moves the dial and tells me a story. And again, maybe I'm the old head and that's just where I'm at in my life. Like I want even an album like Circles by Mac Miller. It's not necessarily a story, but it's just beautiful music. This to me, it's fun, but I don't know. That's all I can really say about it. It's just trappy. And really, it's half the time I don't even know what the man is saying. He's just mumbling. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Trey's on his soapbox here.
I just can't do it. It's just I will not go back and listen to this album. Sorry, Cam. Sorry, P2, like he flipped his old. Really, it was the same like beat as his old popular.
Yeah, it was the exact same. It was the exact same one.
Flipped it and did a different flow on it. I'll be honest with you. This is my hot take of the day. Janae Akio dropped the best album of the day. Outstanding album. I'm serious. I didn't think.
Listen, here. I have to interrupt there because I didn't see Janae Akio go #1 trending in less than 30 minutes because she dropped her album.
I don't care about that.
In a span of 15 minutes, this man went #1 trending on Twitter.
I'm talking about quality. I'm not talking about clout.
Oh my goodness
this is a really
all
good
right,
album.
all right, Cam, your turn to respond.
All right, I'm just gonna speak about Eternal Atake. That's what's gonna happen. So first of all, Trey says this tells no story, and he's wrong. I think he's has a stereotype because these type of rappers he thinks can't tell a story.
But he's from outer space, and he's talking
He's
about.
not from outer space. He's in the story is about him and his 3 personalities being abducted by these aliens that he calls, which are related to a cult. Obviously, you probably knew that. The Heaven's Gate cult that believes that our creator was from outer space. And then he comes back to Earth and he tries telling somebody and he's like, dude, I don't know what I just saw, and nobody believes him. So that's a story to me, and I think he does things better on here, like the skits per se. I think he does that better on this than most storytelling people. Like, I'll be honest with you, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, they'll have skits in their album. Half the time, those are just skips to me. This, he puts it right at the end of the song, and I listen, and I'm actually interested in it.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I allowed to interject? Okay, so take away those skits at the end of those songs. Is there still a story? Because I get the whole thing.
That's a fair point. No, there is not.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're right there, but there's still a story to be given here.
Okay.
So you can't really take everything away from it. So as far as the music, every song, the first 6 songs he describes as his first personality is the baby Pluto, where he just shows that he can go toe to toe with any rapper for flow. He's up there. Toe to toe for pure flow. He's up there with the best of them.
Tell the people what you texted in the group chat today. He could go toe to toe with Drake lyrically.
No, I didn't say lyrically. I said flow. That's different. That's totally different. I did not say lyrically
we were talking
ever.
bars, brother.
Trey,
He's
you
twisting this first. He
Right
is twisting this. I got receipts, man. I know you didn't say lyrically.
But Trey, are you on Are You Entertaining's podcast right now, prepared to say that Lil Uzi Vert is not a talented artist?
No, okay.
Oh, you would be so twisted if you said yes.
He's hesitating.
No, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I am not a fan, but he has fans and they like him, so I can't knock. I will say he's very popular and he's riding the wave right now.
He is the wave. He's the one who created this whole wave. He not necessarily created, but he's the one who's perfected it, and he's the first one to perfect it and be the first SoundCloud rapper.
Okay. I have a quote. Keep doing your spiel. I'm gonna pull up this quote that I.
Okay. So the first 6 songs would be Baby Pluto, where he is like his first personality, where he just raps and he comes with a pent up energy that sounds like he's been waiting for 2 years to release music, and he's not been holding it back on purpose. His next 6 songs would be his Orangy, is what he calls it. It's like his orange hair, which means this and that, whatever. But like that's like the sadder songs, like such as I'm Sorry, Chrome Heart Tags, which is personally one of my favorites, and then Price is the Travis Scott. And then the next 6 would be the classic Uzi, which is what he describes it. It's just classic Uzi that we know. And I really like part 2 because it's flipped, and I've never heard somebody go on the same beat and almost do it. EXO Tour Life blew up to number 7 on the Hot 100. It was his highest charting before Futsal Shuffle. And part 2, to me, I think he came back and did it even better. I've never really seen someone go back to the same beat and do it better. So that was really cool to me. So, yeah, I mean, I think this album is fantastic. But to be fair, I've listened to it a bunch of times already today. It's the only thing I've listened to today. And I think each time I listen to it, it keeps growing on me even more. And being a big Uzi fan, so I liked it, obviously, off the first song. Off the first listen, I loved it. So being a big Uzi fan, that it's still growing on me just shows a lot.
Okay. I mean, I think I want to talk a little bit more so about the old wave, the old head versus the new wave, whole thing. I don't know. I think I was trying to find a Royce the 5'9" line in this new album, which I think is one of the best pure rap albums that I've heard in quite some time. Check it out if you know the allegory. He has some line. This is messing it up a little bit, but essentially it's "Don't ride the wave, ride what's in your heart," something like that. I think a lot of these rappers today, Lil Uzi Vert heavily included, is riding the wave, trap wave, mumble rap, more focused on a fun beat and really not saying anything than telling a story. I think something that moves the dial. Every one of these little album covers in here, it moves the dial. And I think the way they do that is they find a unique sound, which at this point, Lil Uzi Vert's sound is not really unique. I'm sorry. It's just not. I mean, some people, I don't know.
That's interesting. Name someone who sounds like him then.
They find a unique sound and they tell a beautiful story. I'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to
moderators. Can I point out that he had no response?
Yeah, Trey, do you have an answer to Cam's question?
Well, a rapper that you've actually listened to. I know you don't listen to a lot of mumble rappers.
I don't.
As you call them.
I would bet you that Lil Baby, Gunna.
Bet you he doesn't actually listen to these people. He's telling you he would bet.
You're right. I don't listen to these.
See, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't actually know.
Young Thug, Playboy Cardi. I loop them all into one bundle, and I would even throw like Travis Scott in there. I really
Ooh.
like Travis Scott, but I think he's at the high end of this wave. I think all these others are kind of tier 2, kind of mumble like mushed together. I don't know. I would 10 times out of 10 times, I would rather have a story with skits and with beautiful instrumentation and actually understanding what they're saying. And I don't really care about the bars. I care about the lyricism and the stories than trap beats and fun turn up music. Like,
So a song that sounds terrible but has a good story to it, you would listen to that?
no, I mean, not necessarily sound terrible. When I say beautiful instrumentation, I mean piano, I mean guitars, I mean violins, I mean flutes, I mean like actual fucking music.
I mean, my thing is Lil Wayne is looked at as one of like the forefathers of rap almost. He's up there. He's a legend. His whole career, I don't remember one time of him telling a story. He uses wordplay just like everyone else now.
And that is a valid point. And you know what? At this point in my life, where I'm at, like musically taste, if Lil Wayne were a new rapper coming up today, I don't know if I'd be a real fan of him.
But at one point, were you a Lil Wayne fan?
Oh, I mean, I still am, but I think that's because back in high school, I liked turn up music. I liked frat rap. I liked bars. But at this point in my life, I like a story and I like beautiful music.
Trent,
Yeah.
do you think your high school self would have liked this album? Do you think you would have liked this in high school?
Good question. It's
It is a good
Dave.
question. I mean, maybe. I feel like back in high school, I was a big like Wiz Khalifa fan. I was a big like Tyga fan, and that was kind of
Lil Wayne.
And Lil Wayne was the great of that time. At this point,
But
I would
even
say, Eminem too. But I would say the greats right now is like they would be like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, whereas then it was Lil Wayne and Young Money ran things. And I could see myself riding that wave and enjoying Eternal Take back in high school. I think it's more so, I don't want to say a generational gap because we're not that far apart, but I think where I'm at in my life, I want a story to be told.
All right, Trey, had a lot of time to talk. Cam, I'm going to give you a chance to respond, and then we'll end this debate.
Hey, wait, Ty.
Yeah, all right.
I have a question for Cam. Do you think you could like this album if it came out when you were 30?
Yes, I really do, but maybe that's just because that's when this is what I like. Like, this is what I'm listening to. I think I'll be an Uzi fan forever. I don't think there will ever be a point in my life where I'm like, man, Uzi is whack, kind of like Trey is with Lil Wayne. But my thing is if this wave wasn't if it was so trash as Trey thinks it is, then why is every number one song just like this? Roddy Ricch, The Box. I would expect to see an Uzi song coming up here pretty soon off this album. I would be willing to bet, especially when he drops a deluxe. Those snippets are going to blow up, I promise. And if this wave was so trash, then why do you see the big rappers such as Kendrick Lamar with Humble? He's hopping on this wave. The second part of that song where he keeps doing the A, you know he's coming at these rappers, but he's doing it in their style. If these big rappers that are their style is so much better, why do they feel the need to shoot down at this wave? Why is this wave always the one that's being talked about?
Can I rebut real quick?
Yeah.
You guys
Sure.
No, we're going to vote.
Okay.
We're going to vote.
Quickly before. So I would argue that the reason why it goes number one and they pump this trap music and everyone loves it so much is because radio knows that everyone loves this, and so they feed it to you. They feed it to you. They know it's popular, so they're gonna play it over and over and over again because they want you to sing along and tune in. It's heavily radio, like radio's behind a lot of it. Now the streets
If they feed it to you. Every time J. Cole and Kendrick drop, they go number one. I know they do. They always do. They're the greats.
You're right, but I think quality over trumps the popularity at that point. And to also your point with the Humble thing, yes, right, he did go trap there a little bit, but there's so many different layers to peel back. Like for KOD, most of that it's over trap beats, but you could say it's more so tongue in cheek, poking fun at the trap rappers by taking their flow and those sort of things and sending a message over those beats. There's so many different layers. When you pull it out as a single, it's a different layer. When you put it together with the whole damn album, it's a different.
Yeah.
There's just so many layers, but I could go on and on and on about this. I know you guys have to have your time.
Any last word?
Me? No, I just think that if this wave was so far down there, they wouldn't even feel the need to respond to it per se, or shoot it down all the time.
GG's.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys my vote and give you a little bit of an explanation. You guys brought up really good points on both ends, and I think what decided it for me is when Cade brought up the point about if Trey would have liked this music in high school, and he probably was hiding it a little bit, and I know you would really like it if you were coming up to this in high school, in college, and you, like I said, you guys brought both good arguments, and me personally, like I probably, if I'm gonna sit down and listen to an album, I'm gonna side with Trey and listen to like a Kendrick Lamar or a Frank Ocean or a J. Cole album. But Lil Uzi Vert, like it or not, was a pioneer in this new wave music. Maybe you can argue Chief Keef,
Young Thug.
But Lil Uzi was a pioneer in this, and I don't think that should be slighted. But at the end of the day, like Trey, just because your standard of music, just because you can't demean this wave just because you don't enjoy it. Being a consumer of hip hop,
No, I know that.
You don't define the standard of what's good. Like obviously, it's really popular.
Popular doesn't mean good.
With that being said, I'm gonna have to side with Cam.
What? Wow, you liked it, Al. You liked the album. Bias.
So when I was,
Ty, I want to
listening
say,
to the argument,
Ty, I respect that vote because you were not a Uzi fan when you lived in our house for a while. So Ty's had to come around in about a year turn.
so you both brought up like good arguments, and obviously I'm a big Uzi fan, so I tried to put the bias away. I really tried. And the question I asked you, Trey, wasn't to try and set you up at all, because I asked Cam the same question. And this argument really boils down to arrogance. Like, I know it's hard to listen. Like, Cam, you said you like him, and if this album dropped when you're 30, I'm not sure that's true. Trey,
I think it's true.
You just won't listen to him, and I know it's hard for you to listen to him because of the age you're at. Like, it's just not your style anymore. But when I got the answer to the question that you would like him in high school, I think he's good, because I think you'd be listening to him now if you liked him in high school.
I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying that he's trash. I just personally don't enjoy the music. I mean, I straight up.
I understand that.
So what's your vote, Cade?
Cam, I'm sorry. It's not biased.
You're off the podcast now.
Moving on to the second round.
That is just whack. Okay. All
Ooh.
right. We have some.
All right, give us an intro.
All
Trey.
right, so a little bit of intro. We have in the blue corner, Two Fly Ty, and in the red corner we have Cade, the Turtle Killer. They will be arguing who would you want to start an NBA franchise around? You have to pick one player.
One player, yeah.
One player. One player to build an NBA franchise around. I'm gonna give it to Cade first. Cade, go for it.
So my player, it's probably the best upcomer you can choose, Luka Doncic. He is averaging like around 30 points, 9.5 assists, around 8 rebounds, I think. It's around there. It's really high numbers.
Yeah, I have the stats here.
This is his second year in the league. He got drafted in 2018.
Yep, second year.
Played pro ball in Europe since when he was like teenager. He's been in this environment, and he's shown he's clutch. He's pretty he's resistant to injury. He hasn't had a major one. He's a good dude. You see that he's not a toxic teammate. He's there, and he really wants to win. You can see that mentality. Like, he ripped his jersey because he was frustrated. And it's not like one where he's going to get mad and yell at his teammates, but he's there. He really wants to win, and he's such a good guy you can build a franchise around.
All right. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. Luka Doncic, he's been in the league for 2 years. He was the rookie of the year, averaging 24 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game, 7 assists per game, 45% from the field.
Is this his rookie year?
No, this is his career. So last year and this year.
I'm talking about this year. But yeah, keep going.
We're talking about practice.
He's shooting 32% from the three-point. So he's not the greatest three-point shooter, but he's still decent. All these stats, phenomenal. He has the Mavs. He just set the record for most triple-doubles. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not taking Luka Doncic to start my franchise around. The correct answer is Jason Tatum. This guy has the highest ceiling of any of the young players in this league. I'm talking about Zion. I'm talking about Trey, Ice Trey.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on, let me get my.
Okay, I have a question.
So Jason Tatum, he's in his third year, and I think another argument against Luka, I don't know how much higher his ceiling is. He's a phenomenal player, and he's really, really good. Like, I'd probably say after Jason Tatum, I'd probably take Luka. But I just think Jason Tatum's ceiling is so much higher, and you've already seen so much growth from his first and second year to this third year. Like, there's been times this season where I watched him against the Clippers. He was the best player on the floor. And you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Paul George, you got Kemba Walker on the floor, and he took over that game, took him to double OT, and won that game. This guy, literally, rest in peace, Kobe, has the Mamba mentality. He can be unguardable at times. When his offense is going and he's on his game, he's unguardable. And I think part of the reason
I'd say Luka can be unguardable when he's on his game too, because Luka can drive, he can shoot the three, hit mid ranges, and Luka's three is farther than Jason Tatum's.
I just think Luka, when he can't play that bully ball, like, no, he can drive, and he's a very effective offensive player, and I think he's phenomenal. I just think Jason Tatum's ceiling is higher. That's why I would want to start my franchise around him more. And I think you've seen so much growth from his first year to his third year now. He's made the All-Star team. His kind of took I wouldn't say a sophomore slump, but I think playing with Kyrie wasn't the best situation for him. And I think you've really seen him flourish this year with Kemba. And he's really shown his ability to be a superstar in this league and being one to take the torch down in the future.
Boom. Mike,
I have a question.
You have a question. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what are you trying to go for? A young player? Are you trying to go for a good player? Build around right now, build for the future. So, like, what constitutes as like a young player? Because I could present you both with the argument I think, that you could choose Giannis, who's only 25 years old and has won MVP of the league.
Giannis is already established, and they're already building around him. I'm talking about Zion, Luka, Jason Tatum.
Okay, so we're talking
younger players.
Ja Morant, you can make an argument for Donovan
And none
Mitchell,
of you pick
maybe.
Zion.
No, he's too injury prone.
I think
he had one injury.
Before he even got in the league, and he was injured in college too.
But Cam, you're telling
he blew out his feet.
Cam, you're gonna tell me you want to take Zion?
No,
over Luka.
I would take Zion. No, I wouldn't. I personally might even mess around and choose Ja Morant.
I don't think so. I just think Jason Tatum has the highest ceiling, and you can build around him too.
Well, you can say he has the highest ceiling, but what? Back it up.
Okay, let me back it up for you. Let me pull out his stats from his first year to where he's at now. So I
have seen that Clippers game. He was fantastic. He was the best player on the floor that night. That's a fact.
So his career stat, points per game, he averages 17 per game. This year, he averages 23.5. His career rebounds 6. This season, he's averaging 8. Career stats, for assists, he averages 2. This season, he's averaging 5.5. Field goal percentage is 45. 3-point percentage is 40%. And just for reference here, best 3-point percentage in the league right now is 48%. That's George Hill on the Bucks. So he's an elite 3-point shooter. Where Luka, and the way that the league is going, what was Luka shooting from the 3? 32%, which is not terrible, but it's not great by any stretch of the mean. And the way the league is going, more reliant on 3-point shooting. Jason Tatum is elite in both. He can
Elite.
I want to build my franchise around.
Jason Tatum is a lockdown defender, or maybe I wouldn't say lockdown defender, but he's a really good defender.
I personally
hasn't shown the ability to be a lockdown.
Let
defender.
the man rebuttal.
I want to build my franchise around someone who's going to get it done in clutch time, someone who's going to be ready for those big games, because those count. Those are the things that count. Luka has shown, you've seen, he wins so many games just for the Mavericks, like by buzzer beaters. He's played pro ball before for the UK, so he's there. He's been there. He's got that mentality. He's going to win, and he's going to make sure he's going to win, and he'll do whatever it takes.
I'm not sitting here saying that, I wouldn't want Luka on my team. That I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm just saying, for the sake of this argument, if I'm picking someone I want to build my franchise around, I'm taking Jason Tatum over Luka.
Luka Brasi.
I think Luka's just almost easier to build around. You can't count on someone getting, you can't just count on them, their potential, because they could flop. They could get hurt. Luka is already there.
And I'm not basing Jason Tatum's on solely potential. He has shown, especially this season and his first season, that he can produce in this league and go toe-to-toe with the greatest players in the Eastern and Western Conference. And I think the prime example is when he played the Clippers. Double OT, won that game.
You can also argue that Jason Tatum has better teammates around him, and Luka doesn't.
Mavs are a solid team.
But the only one he has is Porzingis.
Equivalent situations.
I don't think the Celtics situation is the same as the Mavericks. Luka is just the forefront of that team.
Yeah, no, I think Luka, like I said, Luka is a really good player. He really is. I mean, he's broken the Mavericks triple-double record, 21 or 22.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's crazy talented. And I've been so into the NBA this year. The NBA is super fun to watch right now. And I'm excited, thrilled for the playoffs. I could see 3 or 4 teams winning. I really can.
All right, here's my question. If you would have gone first in this debate, would you have picked Luka?
No, I was going Jason. I knew he was going to pick Luka, so I was going to go Jason. Okay.
He knew I was going to pick Luka because Luka's there.
I thought you were going to pick Luka or Zion.
I would never pick Zion.
Because you can make the argument for Zion. I think he is. I mean, we have such a small sample size right now. 17 games.
His injuries just destroy him.
We'll see if he can. Yeah.
All right.
Cam, you got any questions?
Any final thoughts or
no more questions? Trey, I'll let you vote first.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. I really haven't been following the NBA very closely. I don't. It's more so just the argument and the stats for me. And I think Ty came prepared, so I'm going to give it to Ty. I'm sorry, Cade. It's all love. GG's.
All right. So for me,
if you vote opposite, because then I don't know how we're going to break the tie.
Flip a coin or something.
So for me, I went into this thinking, purely basketball. I watch a lot of basketball. Purely basketball, I'm like, Luka, man, all the way. Luka's he's a talent. Seriously, he can do everything. But Ty did bring up this Celtics game against the Clippers that I watched the entire game.
One game. You
And
can't
Tatum
say anything
just
off one game.
Tatum just hold on. I didn't say I was done. And Tatum did just keep going bucket after bucket after bucket, and he can guard. There were a couple possessions he made Kawhi look bad, and Kawhi is the best player in the league.
Oh, that's a topic for another day.
That's a topic for another time. But Tatum. The thing about Luka is he's young. He's really young. Like, he's 2 years younger. To be honest, I said all that, and I still don't even know who I would pick. But I think Ty presented the better argument for Tatum.
Let's go.
You just did that because that was easy.
What do you mean that was easy?
I wanna hear-
Luka's good, and I love your argument about the pro ball. I love that. I was like, yeah, he's tough. But I don't like when Ty said that they have equivalent teams. That's not true. The Celtics are better than the Mavs, significantly better.
Mavs play in the West a lot tougher.
They
Sounds
play
like
in
you
the
want me to win
West.
the argument, but you won't say it.
They play in the West, but the Celtics have Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker,
Gordy.
Gordon. Yeah, he's trash now, unfortunately.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm just gonna go with
final
Ty
round.
because he presented the better argument. That's why.
I did make the better
Okay.
argument. I did. I know.
Okay, so we have our finalists. We have Ty and Glovelender Cam in the finals. Now Cade and I have to discuss what we are going to pick from our topic of pools or pool topic. What I'm saying. We have so on the list, and we can throw in some more if we really need to or want to. So I put best Drake Lucy's. Which Disney Plus series will be the best? What's the best Call of Duty? Or who's going to be in the final for this year? What do we think, Cade? What's your opening thoughts?
Call of Duty one's good.
Which
Should we
one?
save it? The Call of
That's
Duty
what
one?
I'm saying. I know you want to be in that argument. So do you want to save that? Or I personally want to do the Drake one myself. So I was going to throw out the Disney Plus one for these scrubs, but
Yeah, I think Disney Plus is the way to go. I was also thinking that.
you down for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Disney Plus series. This includes
Future.
current original series and upcoming. So we have The Mandalorian. You can include the new season of Clone Wars. We have Winter Soldier, Falcon,
Loki.
Loki,
Yeah, Loki.
Obi-Wan. We have the Cassian Andor series. Technically, those are just talked about, but if you have enough backing, you can say that. There was just a prequel for Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. There's not really much there, but hey, if you want to argue it, go for it.
We're doing movies too.
Yeah. What?
No, it
Movies
says
too.
series.
Or just TV series.
I was going to do series, but if you really want to do a movie, I don't really care.
Cam, you want to go first or?
I'll let you go first, man.
Huh?
I'll give you the advantage of going first.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Falcon and
Winter
Soldier series coming up.
Yeah.
I think the easy argument and probably would be the easiest to go with would be the Mandalorian because it's already established. It's already established their success. But I'm gonna stray away from that and say the Winter Soldier and I just think the potential with this one. I think it could do so many different things. The way that and is this going to be the first Marvel one that they're doing, or is it WandaVision? Nope.
Mm-hmm. It's the first one in line.
I believe it's.
I think the hype for it is going to be. Is he playing some COD?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Anyway, I just think the interest in the story itself, the way Marvel has left off and where they're transitioning the universe, this show has so much potential. I mean, obviously it has to be executed correctly, which I think Marvel does a fantastic job of doing. They don't usually miss, and this will be their first Disney Plus show. So I'm excited to see what they have in store. I think personally, out of all of the upcoming ones, this is the one that I'm most excited for. And I think you can make the argument for this being the most intriguing of the Marvel Disney Plus shows that are upcoming.
Okay. And I think you're forgetting Star Wars. That's
Obi?
all of them.
The Obi? Yeah.
Even over Obi.
No, I said of the Marvel ones. Of the Marvel ones.
Okay. Cam,
All
what's
right. Yeah, but first, before I go, I want to say there's a little more Uzi news. A little more.
Jesus.
His
Breaking news.
He seems to confirm that Lotus, or Come This Way, his most anticipated snippet, like everyone on Twitter is always talking about it. He
Every-
seems to confirm that it's going to be on the deluxe, by the way. So that would be his 3 most anticipated snippets.
Wow. There you
Just
go.
saying.
Just saying.
All right. As for me, I'm going to go with the Obi-Wan series. I think for the Obi-Wan series, there's so much that has not, like, there's a lot of mystery kind of behind Obi-Wan. And I think that you could just run with that. Kind of like Mandalorian. Nobody really knows a lot about it. It's a cool show. But, like, I think Obi-Wan, Cade, I'm not the
No,
biggest
just
Star
keep
Wars.
going.
I'm talking about the average Star Wars fan. There's a lot of mystery to him. Like, if you've just seen the movies, that's it.
Just keep going.
Okay. I think there's a lot of mystery, and you could really go anywhere with it. How he did a lot of stuff. I don't know everything there is to know. Like, how did he find out about Anakin? I really don't even know that. That could be something I'm just missing, but there's so much you could do with that. And I think that there's endless possibilities. You keep it going for a long time, and people would be intrigued. And I think it could possibly be the best over Mandalorian and everything.
Cam, so you're telling me, sitting there as an avid Marvel fan,
Avid Marvel fan, yeah.
you
Is
are
that your
more
question?
excited. You are more excited for the Obi-Wan series than
I think
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
For Falcon and I think my biggest
You're
Marvel would be Loki.
said
My
you're
biggest Marvel anticipated series.
the most
I'm
interesting.
saying Marvel. I'm saying Marvel. You said Marvel.
Yeah.
I said Marvel. I'm saying I think there's a better Marvel series even than the one you said. I think Loki would be my number 2 choice.
I would
You're going with Obi-Wan, right?
What's that?
Yeah, I'm done with Obi-Wan. I don't know everything there is to know, so you can dismantle me if you would like.
Yeah. I just think that the anticipation factor coming off of Endgame of Marvel and kind of the transition of what they're doing, and see this is their first product that they're putting out on Disney Plus, to see what they're gonna do. Is it gonna move the universe forward? Is it gonna not really have anything to do with the universe? These are questions that we don't know that we're gonna get the answer to.
Can I interject?
Sure.
If I were you, I would have picked WandaVision because it's going to be a sitcom mixed with a Marvel movie. We've never had that before. It's going to be interesting. If I were Cam, I'm sorry, you missed the biggest point that you could have drove home was the fact that Ewan McGregor is going to be Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
But his is the characters are in that for him too, so they would almost cancel out.
But there's
Sebastian Stan.
it's a little bit
and
different
Mackie.
for Star Wars because Ewan McGregor is like the perfect age where he is supposed to be Obi-Wan for the series. It's just the stars align perfectly. That's what I would have drove home with for your argument. For the Marvel argument, I would have said WandaVision simply because we've never seen a sitcom.
But I
type
just don't think that's gonna be the best, and I'm not
thing.
super interested about
That's
that.
my turn?
But my go ahead, Cade.
Sure.
Okay, so Cam, your argument, unfortunately, you're uninformed when you started the thing.
Oh no.
I am your average Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
first
I
of
know.
all.
You said, how did
I'm
you
not-
meet Anakin? You learned that in the, fourth
I know
movie,
how
first
he met him.
movie.
How did he find out about him?
We know that already.
Well,
But
I mean,
Yeah,
anyways,
but we do know that too.
we know a lot about
I can't save you here.
we know a lot
Sure.
about Obi-Wan already. Like, he has a loved one. Like, you know that from the Clone Wars.
you ever seen him?
Yes.
I don't watch the Clone Wars. I'm your average Star Wars fan. I'm
I
talking about
know.
average people,
And-
not nerds, man.
And you're making a terrible argument.
So
You're just such a terrible argument.
the problem with Marvel, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but if I was in this debate, Loki all the way. The Loki show is.
I was
going
about to
be
say
the
that, but you
biggest
guys
show.
keep talking. I was gonna say the show that will have you're bound to be let down by Winter Soldier because it's not gonna really show the aftermath. It's like it could, but it's not gonna be Loki. You're gonna get a lot of information.
Loki is
'cause
going
you don't
to
know
be the
anything.
best show.
But
You have no information at all.
one of the main points of the argument here is just this is the first one that's coming out, correct?
Correct.
And we've already kind of seen what Star Wars has put out with the Mandalorian, and I don't think that's going to be anything similar to that at all, like stylistically or anything like that. But we've still seen what they've done Star Wars on this platform. We haven't had that with Marvel or their original content. So that alone is super interesting to see what Marvel is going to do on this platform.
Fair arguments.
I'm being honest, my argument was trash because I was going to pick Mandalorian, but that was the easy way out. So I tried to pick something else.
Should pick it.
I'm sorry, Cam. Ty Cam.
I know I lost. Halfway through, I realized I don't even know what I'm talking about.
But I still could poke holes in your argument. I personally think that stylistically it could be very similar because it's more than likely going to show up on Tatooine, and it just kind of has that Wild West vibe that Mandalorian does have. That would be my rebuttal to you.
It could, but
Hey, you can quote me on this. Loki's going to be the biggest show. It's going to be the most popular.
And also, it was announced today, maybe a couple days ago, that the Falcon Winter Soldier is directly after Endgame. So I don't know if that was known or whatever, but that was announced. So
I got all sidetracked.
All right. We got Trey's vote. Did we get Cade's vote?
You.
Yeah, Trey's not. Cade's butthurt I didn't vote for him last time.
No, I'm not, Cam.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Debate Dominance crown. We have to dethrone this guy the next time.
Can I get a little victory speech?
Please, for the love of God, we have to.
This isn't around the horn.
We need to come up with something.
Let him get his minute. Let him get his minute.
I just like to thank Trey, Cam, and Cade to giving me a good debate. You tried your best. But you know what they say, the best will always prevail. I'm glad I got the first Debate Dominance championship belt. I look forward to holding on to it for a very long time. And let's see if you guys can take me down next time. We'll be looking forward to it.
For the love of God. Okay. That was our debate.
I won the most important debate. That's all I care about.
The Drizzy Drake one?
No, the Waves of Music one.
I still feel strongly in my side, but whatever.
All right, let's do
it was fun.
Gaming and then wrap it up.
Gaming box score. Cade, this is kind of your thing. First of all, tell us what's going on in the world of gaming, and then we can discuss whatever we need to discuss.
So slow for the world of gaming. Nothing too big except for Doom, unless you've heard of it. It's a really good game. If you haven't seen it, try it. Look at it. Fast-paced shooter. Second biggest thing is COD's Battle Royale, which is teased. It's been teased a lot. And
if you had to guess,
this is kind of old news, but season 2 of COD has come. If you haven't seen that already,
right? If you had to guess, when do you think that it will drop?
Battle Royale. Leak said March 10th, March 9th.
Ooh,
wait, what? Who said that?
Leak on Twitter.
Oh, really? So that's
we about to be on that
Monday.
Tuesday, Monday, yeah. So I think we all have opinions here on the Call of Duty. How are you guys feeling? Is it becoming stale to you guys at this point?
A little bit.
Yes, I've put it down completely at the moment.
Hey, I haven't played in a while. I hopped on the other day and I was like, I need something new. I've been anticipating this battle royale. I freaking want it.
Right. I
want it a lot.
I like that they've given us the option to do the fast games all together, the Shoot House, Rust, and Shipment. That's kind of just my style. Early on, this game was heavily. It felt to me more geared towards the sniper and kind of the chill back and wait for your kill. More of the camp type style. I am personally more of a run and gun guy. I like to go get kills, more than likely die, and keep going. That's just my style. So I like those closer, smaller maps. So I like that they put those together. But as for the Battle Royale, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to how they include Terminal, because that's what they use to tease it. That's a great map. Really hoping that we get High Rise in some regard. I love that map too.
Very good map.
It'll be interesting to see if they include just a bunch of connected old maps or if they include new stuff too. I'm interested. I'm excited. So we'll see.
So for me, the game is I played Rust. I didn't really like Rust. People A lot of people use it off of
Don't like it.
nostalgia, and I didn't really play MW. Well, I mean, I played MW too, but I wasn't the big Rust 1v1 me on Rust guy, you know. So it didn't do it for me. I liked Shipment a lot, but that map gets stale after a while.
It's a blood.
The Battle Royale is definitely going to get me back into it, but the only thing they need is more health, because if you're running around with that low of health, it's not even going to be fun.
I'm straight up not having a good time.
Okay, is that all we have, folks? Do we have any
Give me
final?
1 second, fellas.
All right. Any final thoughts? You good?
No,
You good?
that was a fun podcast.
It was fun. I like the
Yeah.
angle. We have a
Mhm.
guest appearance. What it do, homie? Okay. I'm Trey Leslie of the Dawn of Entertainment. We got the Scrubs, Cam, Cade, Two Fly Ty,
Debate champ, buddy.
Debate Champ. Two Fly.
Whatever.
I hate saying that. We have to take that away at some point. This is the Scrubs podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're taking over the world, and we're coming back for more later.
Mhm.
Scrub.
Scrubs.